Hi, I'm David Milton. I'm the CEO and founder of Teleclaims. We are a software company in the insurance space, and we've created a product, one of our flagship products called Merge, which is intended to reduce the cycle time of claims from 30 days to 30 minutes.
Thank you, Rudy, for sitting with us today.
Thank you, MJ.
You mind telling me a little bit about who you are, your background, and what you do here at Teleclaims?
So, my name is Rudy Gonzalez, right? I started this career of mine a long time ago, or actually the mid-'80s at Carnival Cruise Lines. And was really just lucky, actually, to get into this field. I've always been a tech fan. Took advantage of an opportunity that they had at Carnival. Went ahead and started my career there, moved into different fields, different companies, made the move out to San Francisco for the very first tech boom. Well, it was unbelievably awesome. You being a tech fan, you would have loved this. It was so freaking cool. Moved back to Miami and did a lot of consulting work, did strategic management consulting for another large firm, and then went off on my own. Did my first startup, failed miserably, like I think most startups you should do. It's a terrible experience, but
process.
Oh my God, unbelievably just valuable to me to actually go out there and stumble so hard. And then started forming slowly but surely a fairly successful consulting practice, helping usually small to mid-sized businesses obtain either better metrics in their business or through the use of technology, or sometimes not even through the use of technologies, but basically making a business better. Again, through friends, I stumbled upon Teleclaims. So it's where I'm at right now. I started Teleclaims as a CTO, but I was moved up, I guess, now to the COO position. So basically been here for about a year, maybe 13 months, and having a great time.
Yeah, so tell me what the COO position really entails. Like, what is it that you're in charge of? What are your responsibilities on a daily basis?
So the COO position in a tech company is fairly unique. So I'm a geek at heart, right? So to me, coding is really where it's all at. So engineering is really the strength of the solution that we provide here. So looking at it from a marketing perspective or from a product design perspective, and also from an engineering perspective, and how we're strategizing to go out there and penetrate the market. So the COO basically is driving more than anything those three pieces related to the product itself.
Yeah, so you mentioned the product you sell. So tell me a little bit more about Merge and what it is and what it's used for.
Sure. Merge is a revolutionary platform. It is I would definitely say it's a disruptive platform in an industry that is a laggard in technology, has been for years, and will not change.
Right.
So specifically, the industry that we're talking about is the insurance industry. We're targeting homeowners insurance. So, and what we're doing, the process that Merge affects is how a claim, after something happens to your home, how a claim is actually processed.
Right.
So what we're doing is we're able to Merge provides and allows people to adjudicate a claim much faster, much more cost effective, with a very high level of quality. So the end result, which would be the estimation of the claim, is a consistent product that we have straight across the board. So part of the problem that there is in the process itself is that there's a lot of, and you can imagine, there's a lot of fluctuations. Right? So if you're dealing here, we're in hurricane country here. Right? So when a catastrophe comes like a hurricane, suddenly, imagine you had, 100 houses a day in let's say Miami-Dade County that were having some sort of issue with the house, leaky roof or whatever it is, and they were filing an insurance claim. Now a catastrophe comes, and now you have 50,000 insurance claims filed. So those types of fluctuations, it's very difficult when you're forecasting the demand or the need for a resource to go out there and look at a house or to adjudicate a claim as an adjuster would. It's very difficult to forecast and to understand what that is. Our model kind of looks at this process just like you would an Uber driver.
Right.
So if you look at Uber is addressing that need. There's a lot of fluctuation in the demand. So, and not only that, it's very similar actually the way we do things, because we're looking at a specific point in time, at a specific place, we need somebody.
Right.
Who in this neighborhood can go out there and address that need? our platform provides that for us. So instead of having a firm like there is today, which would be able to adjudicate a claim, they would have to keep all these adjusters on staff, right? Very, very costly.
Right.
Not only that, even if you're the insurance carrier, it's not only costly for them, but now there's an issue with training. There's an issue with getting and moving and mobilizing people. And even with all this said and done, you still are going to have these huge fluctuations, which equate to fluctuations in quality and cost that our platform is hoping to be able to address and kind of normalize. So we're able to adapt with the change in demand
Right.
as claims come in and out.
Right.
And we're also able to train the different people that are doing this inspections or the adjudication of the claim in a way that all the carriers feel comfortable with.
Right.
It's however they want us to do it. So we can quantify all the training, the certification, and those types of
Right.
deals.
Yeah, so you mentioned that you're looking to integrate more services into this platform. Talk to me about Twilio and how you guys are integrating this with Merge.
So Twilio really was a godsend to us, right? Because there's a core competency that we have, and our core competency really is more about dynamically resourcing people around, right? Gathering information and kind of like, creating the story for the claim, right? But when it comes to telecommunications, I mean, that's really not our core competency, and we never
Right.
really wanted to do that. That's just another world. So we started researching a whole bunch of different places and people and methodologies, and we very quickly came up with the thought that we wanted a WebRTC solution. So WebRTC is very dynamic, very robust, and it's a staple of the internet right now, right? So Skype uses it. I mean,
Right.
so and Google Hangouts uses it. So it was something we already felt very comfortable with. We knew that this protocol was really good. Who's going to be our provider? So we started looking, and we had already heard about Twilio. When we first engaged with them, they had just started off looking at their video piece.
Okay.
So kind of backtrack, one of the core components, we wanted to be able to communicate with people, anybody outside of the organization and inside the organization, in one of three ways. SMS, so a text message.
Right.
Video communication, so an online, just a normal video chat.
Right.
Or the last one would be just a phone, just a normal landline.
Right.
So we looked at some solution providers, and Twilio was the only one that was able to package all three of them together.
Okay.
So they made their name with SMS communication and with phone communication. Video communication was something that they were just starting to develop, and they had it in beta. So believe it or not, and this was about almost a year and a half, 2 years ago, initially it wasn't so cut and dry. So we took a gamble with Twilio thinking, well, they're in beta, but it's Twilio.
Right.
So we opted to go with Twilio simply because of the breadth of their offering, the robustness of their solution, the
Right.
scalability that they afford us. They've got a huge vendor list. We can't go wrong. There is
Right.
no bad. There's not a wrong decision. The other candidate we looked at was OpenToke.
Okay.
So, which is I believe the company is, or one of the companies that uses OpenToke is owned by Telefónica,
Okay.
which is a large Spanish telecommunication company. But they were very strong when it came to video, but everything else they just didn't have the same breadth.
Right.
So we opted to go with Twilio. So far, it's been great.
Okay.
We've had a wonderful time with it.
Okay. And so explain to me some of the advantages of using Twilio. What kind of competitive advantage or benefits do you get out of using Twilio in your product? How does it make it unique, per se, in the insurance space?
So one of the first advantages that we've gained or we gleaned by using Twilio is its ability to incorporate all three aspects of communication in one service provider. What does that mean? That means when an engineer or when a product designer is actually developing something, we're going to one source of truth.
Right.
One place where we understand the documentation, we understand the training, everything that we build, whether it's in a design piece or in an engineering piece, it's something that is going to snap into all the rest of the different pieces. So if we build something like the way we did it, we started building SMS first, then we went to video. The components that we built for either one really
Were interchangeable.
interchangeable because it's the same SDK.
Right.
So huge advantage for us with Twilio was their documentation, the unification of their SDK. The other thing that it starts giving us a competitive advantage, specifically with video, was that, so going back to what Merge wants to do, Merge wants to be able to get to a claim and process it efficiently and as quickly as possible. So our tagline is actually, I think it's bringing down insurance claims from 30 days to 30 minutes. All right, really.
That's tough.
Oh yeah. So one of the ways that we can do this, if everything works correctly, right, is by having an online video session with the insured. So let's say, for example, you're at your house. Your house has a hole in the roof. We can have an adjuster that is a desktop adjuster that's going to be sitting there and will receive the call from the insured and immediately start, obviously after the app is downloaded onto the insured's cell phone, they'd be able to go out there and start a video session. Now that video session is going to be live and it's going to be streaming right now. The adjuster is going to be able to actually visually see what's happening. And we're able to grab that and save it, right, that whole session, and use it later on to re-examine or do time estimation.
Right.
The other thing that we can do with the same SDK is we're able to grab and in reality make 2 sessions happen at the same time. Let me explain why. You start a video conference, a FaceTime,
Right.
all right, and which is a closed protocol specific to Apple, highly optimized, and you're breaking up left and right. Right. So the quality of the video at the other end is probably not going to be good enough.
In a catastrophe environment, you don't have signal to perform great video calls, right?
Absolutely. In a catastrophe environment, we're not going to have a video signal. But so that's like a worst case scenario, and we have a contingency plan for that. But in the let's say that the happy path that we have for this use case, we'd probably be getting a signal to the adjuster, but it wasn't clear, or it might fade in and out at times. Right. Which is a very common situation. What Twilio allows us to do is actually break the stream in 2. So we can save locally on the smartphone one of the streams, the higher resolution stream. The stream that we know is going to be the money.
Reliable quality.
The one that we're really going to be able to use. And then stream the other one, knowing that we may not be using it for quality because we know we have that backup, but we can definitely at least point the insured in the right angles and the right places to be able to really get an idea as to what that damage is. And then later on, that secondary one, the high quality one, we upload at a later time once there's a good connection and stuff like that.
So it sounds like you guys are really using Twilio for its strengths, right? But I'm sure unless Twilio's engineers are great at making things easy to use, it can come with some setbacks or some sort of challenges. With implementing something like this. So what are some of the challenges you guys have seen, not just like in your workforce, but in the application in itself?
So one of I would say probably the central piece that it provides a challenge to us, and I think this is a universal problem that you would have when you're tying a core competency that you want to have to a third-party provider. Right. You're putting all those eggs in that one basket. If Twilio decides to change directions for one reason or another in their video offering, that could adversely jeopardize, our offering as well. So the thought was that we want to partner with them right now, stay with them as long as we can as we build our own solution, or at least have the opportunity of gauging what that actually might be.
Yeah, I can imagine, and you wouldn't want to have to think of all the sort of retraining and I guess hours spent coding in order to redo something like this.
Absolutely.
So I think it's smart that you guys are doing it, yes, depending on Twilio for now, but at the same time using a little bit of, I guess like 20% of your time to also recreate it yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's always fun, especially for like I said, for the geeks. For me, that's always been the fun stuff in building your own. But it's costly. It's costly to go out there, and there's a lot more risk. So, but for right now, we're happy with Twilio. I'll tell you, we're really happy, and we're actually also looking at possibly using for some of the communication Google. And some of the offerings that they have, but that's a little further down the road.
Right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Rudy, for talking to us today. I appreciate it so much.
I appreciate it.